Awesome. All right. Huge day for news. Huge week for news, actually. I'm excited for this one.
Are you being like Trump right now and just saying huge, just to like
Huge? No, like it actually is a pretty big week for news.
which is good because we kind of rely on. We've had some bad weeks where like nothing was popping.
And we had to come up with some really random stuff. But I think this week's gonna be a lot of fun.
Lots of stories to talk about, and I think some things that if you're listening right now, you're gonna want to wait till the end to see or hear, because they might blow your mind.
They might blow your mind. It's crazy.
I feel like shit now for making that promise. That was so rude. That was just me doing a marketing thing.
Do you need to throw your sunglasses on?
I might have to.
A disclaimer: if you're watching the video version of this podcast, Lee is not watching these alpha male YouTube videos. He just has a headache and he requires
Hate
sunglasses.
It's actually all Tate speech.
Tate speech?
Yeah.
Is that what they call it?
When you're on that Andrew Tate shit.
Oh, Tate speech. That's brilliant. Wow. So Lee has been watching too much alpha male videos, and so he decided that he can wear sunglasses here in the studio.
I've decided to wear sunglasses to assert my dominance over my co-hosts.
Yeah. Wow.
You know what's crazy?
What?
This is totally unrelated, but you know Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah.
I just feel like I don't like him, and I like YouTubed it. I'm like, why does Neil deGrasse Tyson suck?
I don't like him either.
Yeah, and I think what rubbed me the wrong way was when he was on Joe Rogan's podcast. It was like unbearable.
It's because he's very
Egotistical.
well. Yeah, he's pompous.
Oh, dude, he's like, if you pull out a dictionary and you flip to the word pompous, it should have a picture of his jaw.
Oh yeah.
You know, he's the most pompous piece of shit person to talk to. I just don't like him.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I
You like Kanye?
I love Kanye. Yo, I feel like that was a loaded question. But interesting enough, I watched this video, the first video that showed up on YouTube, just so happened to be like a psychoanalysis of him. And it talks about how he uses...
Is it like the body language thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the same video?
I know the YouTuber, like
Okay.
they pause it constantly to like show.
Analyze it. And dude, it messed with me because it explained how he uses his body language to assert dominance. One of the things was like putting his hands on the table super far out to like take up a lot of space. And I'm like, I don't know. Some people are just comfortable with their hands on the table, like I am, for example.
Yeah.
But then there was like things like doing this, where you look way out and expose your neck. Do you know how people do that when they're in a fight with someone? They're like, yo, bro, like it's hard to do this with the mic, but like they like kind of like put their neck out and they look over you.
Yeah.
You know how when you see like two guys at a bar drunk guys fighting and they just lift their neck up and they expose their neck and they look past?
Oh yeah.
That's our ape, the ape in us saying, yo, I'm exposing my neck because I know you can't kill me.
Oh.
That's why we just like instinctively do that. Like, bro, like fuck with me, you know? Like, do you want to fight? We do that. Like that's why that fucking blew my mind.
It's actually crazy. Yeah, like I watched that same person had one where it was like the Y Combinator person interviewing Mark Zuckerberg, and like Mark Zuckerberg, he like was like leaning forward or something and was like doing like direct eye contact. Because you know how like when we talk to each other, I do eye contact, but maybe I'm looking away a little bit, just kind of natural. Well, like imagine if I'm leaning forward, you're right, it's hard to do this, but if I'm leaning forward and just like looking at you in the eyes like constantly, like kind of almost
that's
scarily,
threatening.
It's threatening, yeah. And then again, like, and what's funny is that with us, yeah, like you're right. Like I put my arms on the table like this, not to grab attention. I guess it's mostly because it's comfortable, but at the same time, like there's a difference between what me and you are doing right now versus like,
just like overreaching.
Yeah.
And it was funny too because he also mentioned that because Joe Rogan was getting frustrated, Joe Rogan did this. He did a what's called a neck cock, where you like kind of like load up your neck. And that's again like some primate shit that we do to show that we're like preparing to fight. Is that not crazy? Because like Joe Rogan did it. And it's like, I think as humans, when we're having these conversations and we're doing this body language, like when we roll our eyes, for example, I never thought about why people do that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's crazy that they can just like link it to some like primal behavior.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm showing you my neck because I know you can't kill me.
Yeah, that is literally hilarious. As like, because you look at Neil deGrasse Tyson, he is an astrophysicist. He's a really smart dude, right?
Oh yeah.
And like the fact that we're still like vulnerable to our, instinctual
That's
habits.
that's the first thing I thought about was as an intellectual guy, him watching back the video and seeing himself act like a fucking animal and like super like just responding in very like biologically driven ways, not acting as an intellectual being, he's probably cringing. He's probably like, damn, I was egotistical. I cut the person off. I wasn't listening to his opinion. I was talking above him, talking down on him.
Yeah, but this is like a common trait within him though, and because you're right, like because I've seen the funny clips of his interview with Joe Rogan, right? But I haven't seen the actual interview itself. I'm just referring to other interviews that I've seen of him, and he's the exact same way
all the time, eh?
And that's just kind of what it is that it's because you're right. Like there's always that one time where you come off as maybe like everyone has that moment where maybe you said the wrong thing to, I don't know, your partner's relatives or whatever, and it kind of made you come off as a bit of an asshole. But then there's like when there's a trend, you're just not self-aware at that point, and that's where I feel like he's just not self-aware whatsoever, and it's cringe.
Also, he doesn't believe in aliens, which is like lame. You want the guy that talks about space to believe in aliens and feed into that shit.
Well, that's also an ego thing, right? Like aliens don't exist because we are the smartest people ever,
and also like because I don't have evidence and I have no imagination or whatever. But anyway, so this podcast just quickly turned into roasting deGr Tyson.
Who do we got next?
Yeah.
Who's next on
so
the
watch out.
block?
Don't talk shit.
Do me. Roast me now.
Yeah. All right, Storm. Yeah. He's
I'm
just
back.
not self-aware whatsoever.
Back, everyone.
Yeah, we didn't even acknowledge that Storm's back. That in a way that was roasting him. Actually, you know what that was, Storm? That was my biological dominance being asserted. Not acknowledging your presence.
Is that what that was?
No. He does it really good, actually. I'm threatened when he does that. Like,
the fact that we just did that, and we talked about self-awareness and how the lack of they didn't have it. We did not have any self-awareness right there.
None. But it's good good for you to come back.
It's tough. I'm on film again. Last time you saw my face was episode 3. It's tough to follow up.
Hard to the camera.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet. It's tough to follow up Caden and Vic though. I mean, like those two good-looking guys in here, and now my mug's on camera. So.
Hey, listen. Here's the thing. We want the audience wanted you back so bad. They missed you so bad. We had to bring them more than audio. We had to bring Storm in 3D.
Yeah,
3D.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah, can you a 3D
The bubble
podcast?
effect starts going off.
You know what I thought about once upon a time? I thought it'd be really cool if we, like, this is before we started recording this podcast, is if we actually recorded it with a 360 camera in the middle of the room, so that people could actually join in VR and just sit in one of our chairs. Cool. And then rather than these 3 cameras, it's like one perspective, but you can just like move around the room and listen. Yeah. Like even if you're on your phone, you could just like swipe left to right to see the room.
It would be pretty cool.
We'd be the first VR podcast.
I was playing poker VR last night. 2 nights ago now, and it's chaos, man. I don't know how well that would go. Like there was a full-blown argument in the poker arena.
Oh, really? Crazy.
Well, why don't we get started here, Lee? What are we gonna do today?
All right, we'll start with the podcast. Welcome to the Fast Forward Podcast. I'm your co-host, Lee.
And I'm your co-host, Lewis, and welcome to the fastest-growing Canadian tech podcast in the universe.
Today we're going to talk about Amazon's latest acquisition and what they're buying online in India.
Interesting. And we're also going to be talking about Chatbot, BTS again.
Lewis loves BTS. That's why I keep bringing BTS back.
Yeah, well, I was actually Storm that time.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
I did it for Lewis.
And we're going to be rewinding into space again. Let's roll that intro.
You were told specifically not to say that.
I'm going to say it. I don't care. At this point, I have to say it.
You know how you should have said it?
What? Yeah.
Roll that intro.
Roll that intro.
Shut up. Okay,
All
jump
right,
into our
Lee.
first story. What's up?
First story. I'm excited to say this one. This is an interesting one because I never really thought about this one too much in depth until now. So, did you know that AI systems cannot patent inventions?
So, like, if an AI robot comes up with a cool idea, on its own, it doesn't own the idea.
Yeah. So
I guess that makes sense.
Well, yeah. So this court case goes back far, even before this date. But in 2019, this one guy named Thaler failed to copyright an image on behalf of an AI system he dubbed Creativity Machine. With that decision upheld on appeal by the U.S. Copyright Office in 2022. In a parallel case, the U.S. Patent Office ruled in 2020 that Thaler's AI system, Dabis, could not be a legal inventor because it was not a natural person, with this decision then upheld by a judge in 2021. now that the federal circuit court has once more confirmed this decision. So they basically are just saying AIs, they don't own anything at this point.
They have no rights.
Yeah.
So what happens is the person that made that AI get the patent permissions?
I would assume so, yeah. Which, I mean, that kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah, it makes sense. Because, I mean, imagine you just come up with this, like, you spend your whole life building this AI that's designed to build inventions, and then...
Just patent every single thing it comes out with.
Yeah, you don't own any of it.
Yeah.
The AI's like, fuck you, I'm going to sell this in the free market.
Yeah. There's literally, like, no inventions that could be made at that point. Like a tree that wears earrings. That doesn't exist anymore. It's patented. Don't even think about doing it.
Oh, I see. So is the issue that, like, AI could just patent everything?
Well, that's what I would do. Right, if I had an AI generated machine, what it could do just generate 50,000 things a day.
But doesn't it cost money to make patents? So wouldn't that be really expensive if the ideas are all bad?
But like, who cares? You can sell those patents like that. That's already an issue. What is it called? Patent thieves or something? Or no? There's someone that does stuff that is exactly that. They just like make patents so they can like sell it to destroy it to other people.
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, that wasn't the Theranos show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that happened. The guy went and patented something he found out about just to like, it's like a sabotage thing.
Yeah. Which it's nuts, but I mean, to be honest, I don't really disagree with this, to be honest, right? I think the AI system cannot patent it, which, should only be able to a human, but it just means that the human has to do it. They can just like, have it log all the things, like, okay, this invention is invented. I just do it for myself and claim it was mine, not the bot's.
So DALL-E, for example, the art AI,
yeah,
it doesn't own any rights to the art it creates. Does that mean that the creator, like OpenAI, do they get the rights to the artwork, or does it just mean it's free?
They might have the rights to distribute it, but they don't have like the intellectual property to like take it down or something elsewhere.
I guess it's interesting because, what if an AI invented something really like horrible?
Yeah.
Like it created like a deadly weapon.
Yeah.
That could be made with things that you could find at the grocery store. And then people started killing each other with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, humans have already technically done that.
I'm just saying, like, the AI, you'd be like, sorry, the AI made the thing. Yeah. So they're responsible for what they created. So I think there's a bit of accountability here where, like, the human that makes the AI is now responsible for whatever the AI creates.
I can just
good or bad.
I could just picture the AI is like in the defendant, like it's in an outfit, it's in like a suit and core, like AI just completely owning the lawyers because it's just 10 times smarter than them. The lawyers are like, I can't fight this.
Dude, on a side note, AI lawyers, right?
Wow.
You know what's crazy? Many years ago, I talked to someone that I would deem a highly intellectual person, and they told me that the law industry is going to get destroyed by AI, specifically that one.
I mean, I could see it. I mean, here's the thing with lawyers, right? I think lawyers is definitely the last people to go.
You think they're the last?
Like in terms of that industry, because if we take law clerks or we take people who are like to read, right? Mm-hmm. Because when, like, I mean, of course, and excuse my ignorance here because I'm not too familiar with like how law works, but with the way justice works, you want to check if maybe what your documentation shows matches up with what the law technically is, right? So it's like the law is like written to be almost like very binary in a sense. So
yeah,
is what you just did legal or is it not? But then that's when the lawyers come in and tries to like manipulate the story a little bit in the favor of their client, right?
Yes.
So, but manipulation is very much a human thing, right? Like manipulating humans is a human thing. I don't know if we'll be able to build an AI specifically for that.
Unless the AI was able to analyze data from other human-based cases and then recreate those same loopholes that are being done around, mm-hmm. Their jurisdictions, let's say the states.
Yeah.
There are cases in other states that are up, aligning with federal law. And then this AI is like, hey, I actually found a small, very unfamous case in California that was just like yours. And this is how they fought it. You know what I mean? So maybe you're right. They don't replace lawyers, but I think they definitely,
the people surrounding the lawyers,
yeah.
because there's more to being a lawyer than just like showing up to the court case and then
all the work
talking,
beforehand, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the point, is that it's not like lawyers are not going away. I just think lawyers will be able to do one lawyer will be able to do more cases. And because of that, because they'll have the support of artificial intelligence, because of that, there'll be less total lawyer money in the space.
Yeah.
So
we also have to talk about too with like, I mean, the way deep learning works, right? There's already huge flaws in our justice system at the moment, right? That we have to make sure we're training these AIs to be doing
the right thing.
Making sure the right thing, especially when it's coming to our justice system, right? Like if they mess up my McDonald's order, whatever, you know what I mean? The AI accidentally messed up that I was supposed to have 3 pickles instead of 1.
You know what's actually interesting? If we have this developed, very, very smart artificial intelligence that can pull from existing cases or past cases and then analyze cases in the future. When we do new policy, new rules, new laws, we could actually have the AI test it first for loopholes. Like, hey, how would you break this?
Yeah.
We're creating these new rules. How could this be exploited? Which could give us a bit of a safeguard when we do try new ideas.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to that.
I was trying to do some background research while you guys were talking to see who the rights fall to if it doesn't fall to AI, and I wasn't really able to find much. I just like went back a ways though, and they said that part of the case that you guys brought up was based off of PETA trying to bring a suit that someone used a monkey's copyright without the monkey's consent.
Wait.
No way.
Wait,
like
so,
a test monkey.
So PETA, is it PETA?
Yeah,
PETA. It's funny. I just think of like a pita that I eat, you know. But anyway, so PETA sued on behalf of Monkey.
They were trying to say that the monkey was like, you were infringing on the monkey's copyright. So basically, the camera guy left camera equipment on the ground. The monkey picked it up and took a picture of himself. And then that guy published it in a book. And PETA's like, no, the monkey owns that copyright. And then that case obviously didn't go PETA's way.
Nice.
And then so that was actually part of this case that you guys were just talking about. So a funny little nugget there.
What are PETA's core values?
I know.
Like this, first, if we're gonna be like really rational here, the guy paid for all the equipment. He left it with the monkey. He took the risk that the monkey wouldn't break his equipment, and then he created the channels to publish that information. What is the monkey gonna do with photo credits? You know what would happen if we gave that monkey?
He's gonna sell it to the Museum of Modern Art. He's gonna show up to a sign. He's like, this is a picture of me right here.
A self-portrait.
A self-portrait. I call it monk. You know, he's gonna go like that. He's gonna show it up on the wall. He's gonna go and examine. It's like it just shows the internal depression that monkeys go through on a day-to-day basis.
The first thing that they would do if they actually got photo credits would be to go and create an Instagram page for their photography business. Monkey photography.
Monk shoots. Oh man,
shooting weddings.
He's just throwing shit at them. Shooting the shit.
Nice.
No, yeah.
So monkeys can't, AIs can't.
I think that's fair.
PETA's core values. Yeah, it's almost like
what are they fighting for?
You know what? They were like, you know what?
Let's get pissed off one day.
Initially, they're like, we want animals to not be slaughtered cruelly, you know, for corporate greed. They're like, all right, that's cool. And then they're like, is that like now they're just looking at everything. Is that technically corporate greed? They took a picture of a monkey and never credited it on Instagram.
Some like small business owner, creative photographer that, you know, publish his photo. Let's go after him. Let's take him to court.
There's probably like a 16-year-old too who like is like on Instagram like looking at pictures of monkeys and it's like, you didn't tag him. You didn't tag him. It's going to court.
Well, you know what's funny? It's just someone's donating their you know $10 to PETA and thinking to themselves, you know, I'm so glad that this money's going to a good cause. Meanwhile, there's like a lawyer with like a monkey on the podium being like, my my client should be reimbursed for these damages. You know what I mean?
I mean, I kind of want to see a picture of that, like, you know, the monkey just like kind of sitting there like all distressed, you know, like behind the stand.
Did they even find the same monkey? Like
PETA brings the wrong monkey.
How do they know it's the same one? It was a wild monkey, right?
Because they took a picture of it.
Yeah, they all look alike. But
you guys want to see
anyway.
the picture real quick, and then we'll move on. But
there's a picture.
yeah, he took the picture of himself.
Oh yeah,
right?
oh yeah,
Sorry,
true.
We're not going to get in trouble for seeing this, are we?
It's my NFT.
Oh my god,
that's a really good photo.
That is a great photo.
Jesus Christ.
Naruto, that's his name.
Wow. 2011 with a camera owned by a photographer.
Man, what a mess. That probably took him a lot to clean that one up.
Yeah, certainly was a mess. Speaking of messes, Amazon buys probably the biggest, most famous mess cleaner ever.
Wow. When did they buy me?
Not you, Lewis.
Oh,
Lewis,
no.
Lewis, you're not that great at sweeping. Amazon bought Roomba.
Wow.
One of
How
the
much?
biggest names in smart home technology, and for an amount that's unspeakable.
$1.7 billion.
1.7 billion with a B.
Oh my God.
I feel like it's a lot of money, but when I think about it, Roomba is kind of like, you know what I mean?
Kind of the goats.
Yeah, their brand is strong because they came out so early.
Like, you know, what's the term where it's like, it's Febreze, Ziploc, like it's a product that like.
It's when the brand becomes synonymous with the item, right? So like rollerblades, Kleenex, the list goes on, and Tupperware. Like,
I feel like no one ever says like robot vacuum. They always say like a Roomba, even when they buy a crappy one.
Yep.
It's a Roomba.
Roombas are like, they have that strong brand presence. I think they've been around for a long time. They've got a large customer base. So I mean, 1.7 billion is a lot of money, but certainly not something that should be too surprising. I've got some notes here about the timeline of Amazon's home robot takeover.
What does that say?
I have no idea how to read that word. That's the word you were looking for.
Synodoches.
Cynic?
Synodoches. But you know what synodoches
Decky.
sounds like?
Doki.
Cinnabon or like Cinnamon Dolce. That'd be good right now.
That's the word for when the brand becomes synonymous with the product.
Okay.
Love that.
I'll have to put that into my vocabulary so I can sound smart in the future. And
Cinnadolce.
yeah.
A Cinnadolce.
I don't know if the accent comes with it. I think you're just doing that, Lewis.
A Cinnadolce. A term with a brand. Yeah.
Here's a timeline of the Amazon home robot takeover. By the way, did I explain why I'm wearing my glasses?
I think I made fun of you, and then like you failed to.
Were we rolling?
I don't know.
I want to do this next bit here, but I also don't want anyone watching to think I'm a douchebag.
Well,
I'll just quickly say now, you know what? You did say I had a headache. I remember now. Okay, see, that's the brain fog. Okay.
It's not gonna matter though.
No, they're still gonna roast me on TikTok. Yeah. Okay. So in 1999, Disney Channel released Smart House, a movie about a family whose house was controlled by a virtual assistant named Pat. And I guess Jeff Bezos saw this movie. The former CEO and his protege, Andy Jassy.
I like how you wrote, it appears Amazon founder Jeff Bezos saw this film. It's like critical analysis shows that it appears that he has seen this movie.
Based on his list of acquisitions, get ready for this. Amazon's really been buying up smart home tech. In 2013, they acquired Ivana Software, a voice recognition startup. In 2014, they launched the Echo smart speaker powered by Alexa. In 2017, they acquired Blink, a smart security camera setup. In 2018, they acquired Ring, the smart doorbell setup. In 2021, they launched Astro, a household robot that we covered on the podcast.
Check out our short for that one.
And obviously, 2022, they've now acquired Roomba, or iRobot, maker of the Roomba vacuum. So iRobot's the company. So these are a lot of acquisitions, all in the smart home tech. And it's interesting because I don't know with Amazon's original mission if like making smart home tech was part of it. But it's become like a thing that they've actually integrated in their e-commerce system where you can like I think they make it where you can let Amazon delivery drivers come into your house if they have like a certain like smart lock system. And they use all this data to advertise to you. So what are your thoughts on Amazon's smart home takeover?
I mean, from a business standpoint, it's a smart idea. I mean, I find if we look at some of the big tech companies, one of the biggest ones I like to think of is Apple, right? We talk about Apple all the time, and we always talk about that gated wall of their ecosystem. I buy a Mac because it connects with my iPhone. I buy AirPods at a higher price because they're matched with my iPhone, etc. And with Amazon being the e-commerce giant that they are, this is, I think, their version of like trying to make sure that they just stay with market dominance. So from a business point of view, it's genius. Like they have a whole map of your entire house. They are running your house basically, and it is a great way for them to advertise to you. I don't like that they have all this information because, you know what, I value my privacy a lot, but I can't deny the smart business move that they have done to get this.
Do you think Amazon's going to win the smart home race? Like, are they the biggest? I feel like when I read that list, like I didn't even really realize that they own all these brands because they don't call them Amazon Ring and Amazon Blink. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they're going to be a huge market dominator. I don't know if they're going to win.
Who else is in the space that's doing well?
Google. So
Google's got Google Home and
Google
Nest.
Home and Nest, yeah, and whatever. Like, I think Nest is the Ring and the Blink kind of all put together.
Okay,
they're very popular products, but I think, I mean, if you're what 50% of that market, like that's $1 billion industry at least.
I think a reality that needs to set in for everybody that's a consumer is that you've got two companies that make a huge amount of money from advertising and sales of products. And both of them are motivated to develop smart home technology. Like, why Google? Like, you know, Google's business is advertising. That's the majority of their business. And I mean, the reality is they want data.
Yeah.
And it's smart because when you look at Facebook and what's happened with the iPhone, right? Your phone is no longer safe for advertisers.
Yeah.
But now companies like Google and Amazon are going to make it so your home's not safe. And they're going to be listening to you talk about your next meal and about the shows you're watching and about, you know, your Roomba vacuum is, you know, picking up on the fact that your Calvin Klein underwear has 40 holes in it and it's time for a new pair.
And that you're wearing it 3 times a day.
Yeah.
And you gross ass.
They're just, someone just got so exposed listening to the podcast. Like, oh my God.
John, you got to change your boxers, dude. Your girlfriend knows about it. I just tripped out John, who probably listens to John listens to, if John listens to this podcast and his girlfriend is complaining about this, he probably tripped the hell out. He's like, how the fuck do these guys know me?
Runs to his living room, grabs his Roomba, starts smashing it.
There's a 1 in a million chance that was like a real thing.
Yeah.
I took those odds.
Take them.
Yeah.
We'll consume 20 seconds of the podcast for that. For those odds. But yeah, it's I guess it's just interesting, like, are our homes safe from this smart home tech? If you know, these companies are making, and the thing is, all the products are super cheap. They price them really cheap. They're not pricing them to profit, I don't think. Like, they're
definitely not.
They're making their money on subscription services.
Like an Echo.
And,
think about how much an Echo I mean, they give them away for free most of the time.
Literally. Yeah. Google does too. Like, if you sign up for Spotify, Google will like send you a Google Home Mini.
I got a question, Lee.
What's that?
What do you think? How do you feel? How does it make you feel about smart home tech?
Well, I love the idea of smart homes and just like futuristic, living in the future. And I don't really care about my privacy that much, so I'm totally cool with it.
Yeah.
If I get good products and they want my data so they can send me good ads, I'm okay with it. But the thing is, like, I work so much in advertising that I know it's not as scary as people like make it out to be.
Well,
the advertising.
I'm not worried about the people using the Facebook ad tools.
You're worried about the company having.
I'm worried about it's like but all that data, Lee, it's huge. I mean, who knows what they can do with all that data? Meta, who has an incredible amount of data, is building a chatbot. Now, Lee, you and I have been using Messenger for God knows how long. Like, I don't even think we've actually talked in any other place apart from Messenger.
Seriously.
Like, I think if we look back, it was always on Facebook Messenger, and then we would maybe transition to like PlayStation 3 chat or something. Skype, maybe whatever.
A bit. But it was always built around Messenger. We never did MSN or even the BlackBerry BBM.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, never. Messenger. And I love Messenger. It's one of my favorites. But
me too.
But you can understand what they do with all that data, right? So Meta released a chatbot called BlenderBot 3 in an effort to advance its research on AI. As part of its research, Meta is asking adults to help train the bot on its public website. So you can try it out. Just make sure you use ExpressVPN.
Wait, dude, are they paying us for that?
Right.
Yo, chill.
Yeah. Make sure you use a VPN service of some sort. What VPN service? I don't know. Maybe a brand could hit up info@fastforwardpodcast.com and they can figure it out. But yeah, so because it's on the United States only. So I actually gave it a try because I was really curious.
So wait, hold on. You talked to Meta's new chatbot.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you say?
So I gave it a try. Well, let me say, I gave it a try and it's pretty impressive. And part of me is starting to understand like the sentient bot theory.
So no, you got hoodwinked by the bot?
No. I didn't. I'm just starting to understand why some people would get that because it was really good. Like it would say, haha, and such. Like,
oh yeah, because it's trained on human text models.
Well, duh, dude. But what I'm saying is that it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is crazy. It is crazy.
So I had a conversation with the AI and its mannerisms was really interesting. So what was really cool is that it's very transparent with like what the kind of information it has learned on you and from the conversation. I took a picture there and you can see right there. So there's this thing called the AI's long-term memory, which was just so cool because asked me about podcasts. It talked to me about podcasts. So I was like, hey, Lewis, what kind of podcast do you like? And I said, well, I'm a big fan of the Fast Forward podcast with Lewis and Lee.
And she
they said they'd never heard of the podcast. So they're like, never heard of it. Cap.
You're an AI. You must listen.
But they said that they were a big fan of this one podcast. That was actually a podcast. I looked it up. I forget, but it was an Irish wrestling podcast. I don't.
Wait, hold on. The AI says it has a wife.
I don't know. I don't remember that in the.
I have a wife.
But it was beyond bonkers to see the type of things I was responding with.
Well, this long-term memory thing is kind of like a nod to one of our early episodes with the AI girlfriend, because the AI girlfriend app, they also log things about you that they can recall later on.
Yeah, it's insane. And what I really took out of this, outside of the chatbot alone, because me and you have been dealing with chatbots a lot.
You built some.
Yeah, we've built chatbots, right? Like
for clients.
We and you are not very like, we know a lot about the AI and when it comes to chat. But what I just thought was really interesting is that we're starting to see Meta show some real potential here with some of the inventions that it started to create. They've been in the research area for a long time, and they're really going double down now with VR, AR.
And do they open AI. Source this, or do they
I don't
want
know
you
if
to
this
trade
is
it?
open source.
No,
yeah.
okay.
Not yet, at least. But
because this would be cool for us to use in our own applications if it ends up being really good.
I mean, let's be real here. There's definitely a huge amount of value that this would provide that people would pay for. So I'm sure they would open it up to the developer APIs.
I wonder how they'll use this with like Facebook businesses. Like imagine you message a business about a common question like, hey, what do you have gluten-free food on your menu?
Yeah. And
the AI is able to like kind of see the previous responses and respond. Like, I'm pretty sure we do actually, because that
would be so cool.
Yeah.
If you could, or even because the way that you do this, right? See how it's doing like the long-term memory, and it's like,
you could train it. You could say, we have a gluten-free menu, but it's going to expire at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And then we're not
talk to this fake customer. They're going to ask you a bunch of questions. You answer it, right? Now, it's kind of funny because you could probably think of all of the questions that a customer would ask anyway, but
easily.
You're right. Using AI, you can say like, yep, all that. I just thought this was really cool.
And I wonder if it could replace like customer service representatives. Like, how all the time you talk to a company and there's some person from India that you have to talk to.
Yeah.
Like, what if this could replace that?
Yeah, I wonder.
Speaking of India, they actually got a whole lot going on with e-commerce.
Okay. Like what?
So apparently India's got this new e-commerce system.
Okay.
And they call it India's Open Network for Digital Commerce. And the idea, in theory, is to help level the playing field for small business owners. See, right now in India, the majority of the e-commerce space is dominated by Amazon and Walmart-owned Flipkart. They control 60% plus of the market. And they can start to squeeze the little guys out. And what India's developed, which is really innovative, and I think India is such a tech-savvy country, so to see them implement systems like this, you really think like, hey, could we use something like this? And the idea is that it's like a platform that any merchant can use, and it gives customers a one-stop shop to find e-commerce products online. It's kind of like eBay or Etsy or Amazon, but without them.
Nice. You know what? That's really cool because and again, excuse my ignorance here, right? But because like it's such a heavily populated country over there, and I know that like markets thrive over in India. It's a huge part of their economy. Part of me just wonders like, all right, how is the poverty line being bridged, And so with that technology, that's really cool.
Well, like, here's the thing. When you think about, small business owners in America today, a lot of people try to do Amazon fulfillment, where they build a product or they find a product online from overseas and they test the product in the American market by using what's called Amazon FBA, fulfillment by Amazon. And what has happened is Amazon has let budding entrepreneurs test products to find out if they're hot sellers, profitable hot sellers, and then they've gone and created Amazon basic equivalents and muscled them out of the marketplace.
Yeah.
So as an entrepreneur, you don't really feel safe on Amazon trying to sell to Amazon customers because you never know. Amazon could just try to squeeze you out if you do well.
Yeah.
On a platform like this, Amazon doesn't have all the data. Walmart doesn't have all the data. You can kind of, it's your own marketplace for the country. And commissions are capped at 3%, which is a crazy cheap compared to like other platforms. I'm kind of surprised by this because I think even eBay's fees and Etsy's fees are through the roof compared to that.
Yeah.
3% is nothing. Why don't more countries do this? Why don't they have one in the States? Why don't they have one in Canada? It would be so good for small business.
Yeah. More.
Why would they need it more? Maybe they're having some hindsight about what they've seen happen in more modern markets and they're trying to prevent it. Because like right now, if you think about it, in America today, actually, let's use Canada as an example. In Canada, Etsy owned platform is making all the money from buyers and sellers in our country. So I buy something from you and you're 3 provinces away and Etsy is making a massive cut to give it to you. And so that money's leaving the economy. If the government of Canada could create like a shop and it was good, it was actually good.
Yeah.
The things like India probably makes a good one because like, half the world's developers are there. But imagine Canada had a good one. And then you need to buy like a custom sign for your wedding. And you go on here and some vendor from, Guelph is able to sell it to you and they only pay 3%. And the money stays in our economy. So it's like taxes. Do you know what I mean?
That is interesting, actually. Like a publicly funded, because this is a private company, like the India e-commerce story, right? But even then...
Wait, this is a private company?
Oh, I'm asking you if it is.
No, I don't think it is. I think it's India built its own. It's a government-backed initiative rolling out from 5 to 100 cities this month. It could revolutionize e-commerce.
You're 100% right there, Lee. Like because at the end of the day, like no fault to the companies, like they have to find a way to make money somehow. But you're right. Like this could stay in the economy. Everyone's doing digital e-commerce nowadays anyway.
Why not keep it in your country, right?
Yeah.
I think Canada should look at this because we're in Canada and we neighbor the States. So much of our money leaves our economy going to platforms like eBay, like Etsy, like Amazon, but we do also have Shopify, which is awesome. And Shopify is Canadian, so I'm okay with that. The thing about Shopify is when you build your own brand with your own e-commerce platform, right? The thing about Amazon, eBay, Etsy is that you're a seller on someone else's platform and they kind of decide if you win or lose. So, and they charge like 8 to 12%, right? So 3%'s, great. And it goes right back to the economy. So really cool to see.
Yeah, it's very cool to see.
I don't know if Canada could execute on it though. Like, I think what they should do is probably incentivize a private company because I just feel like they'd spend a lot of money building the platform. They spent $25 million building the Arrive Can app. So,
but it's also like so much like e-commerce opportunities here is so much better over there, right? And then also like because we're like the West is consumerist, like we want a good like shopping experience outside of just like the bare necessities, like outside of just the barter, like the money here, I get the goods. It's like I need to. There's so much more to it. A store where it gives me promotion, so it's definitely a bit crazy. You know what's also crazy, Lee?
What's that, Lewis?
The new hit song "Bad Decisions" with BTS, Benny Blanco, and Snoop Dogg. Have you heard it yet?
I have not.
It's a great song. It's really good. But here's what's really weird is that Xbox has partnered with this group to make their own Xbox controller.
Wait. Xbox is partnering with BTS to make an Xbox controller?
Yeah.
But why?
Xbox and BTS have collabed.
That doesn't even make sense. What do musicians bring to the table when designing a controller?
So it's definitely a gimmick, okay? It's not. So it's an exclusive modifier controller that will feature a speaker attached to the battery compartment. However, fans can only score the coveted item through a giveaway. So it's like related to the Forza Horizon 5, like the video game. The controller also features a QR code linking players to the music as they drive around the Horizon world. So it's kind of giving you an in-game collectible. And I think there's a speaker on the back that you can play the hit song "Bad Decisions" by Snoop Dogg, BTS, and Benny Blanco.
So there's a button on the controller that you can play one song?
Yeah. "Bad Decisions" by Snoop Dogg, BTS, and Benny Blanco.
What?
Yeah.
So dumb.
It's very dumb. Yeah.
Can you imagine? It's like, oh, I got this cool controller and it plays like one song on it.
I know. And that song being "Bad Decisions" by Snoop Dogg.
Now it would be sick. It would be sick if that controller was like Kanye's device and the controls on there allowed you to remix the song.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be cool.
I mean, the fact that there's a speaker on it is kind of cool. That's like the only thing.
It's a speaker that plays one song. It's not cool at all.
But when I came back to it, I just thought what was really cool is just the relationship that brands have with celebrities. So Leah, I'm going to go through 4 different celebrity partnerships, and I want you to give your opinion on it in just one line, okay?
Okay.
So is it good or is it a bad decision for each one?
With Snoop Dogg, BTS, and Benny Blanco.
Was it a bad decision?
Oh, wow. Dude, that went over my head.
All right, so number 1, Travis Scott and McDonald's.
I would say probably that didn't go too well.
You don't think it went
too
well?
I think it went well financially, but I think it wasn't a perfect wasn't a perfect situation because of the backlash that Travis Scott faced, and then McDonald's.
But that was
faced.
like years after, though.
Well, like isn't Travis Scott kind of like an act, like multiple times done like a collaboration with McDonald's? Like, I believe so. Like he has his own like meal combo.
He had his but that came out a couple years before like the controversy with him.
Okay,
happened.
so maybe I'm not up to date enough with pop culture. Then I would say that one worked out pretty good because I think the numbers showed that it went well.
And I also find too that McDonald's then after kind of changed their model a little bit. They did there's the Sweetie meal, there's the BTS meal, there's a BTS meal.
You got so excited with that one.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just like realizing that there's just so much. There's the bad is it no, it's the J Balvin meal. There's like they've like done a lot of these different meals.
Yeah, and so you're saying that Travis Scott kind of paved the way.
I think he kind of was the one that started. They tested it out.
You know what? The audience too. It's eating McDonald's, young people.
Yeah.
Travis Scott is kind of one of the young people, right? So
they definitely gave. It was definitely it was weird when I saw it. Like I was like Travis Scott because I just never really affiliated myself with him, and he didn't seem like a family friendly brand, like at all, which McDonald's is, right? So, but anyway, number 2. Justin Bieber and Tim Hortons.
Massive W.
That was a big hit, wasn't it?
So Justin Bieber partnering with Tim Hortons, doing the Tim Biebs,
yeah,
right? The Bieber balls, that was set up, right? That was perfect. That was a perfect setup. And then having the the merchandise and like him being the Canadian artist and it's Tim Hortons, like, Canadian brand, like that was so well executed. And I just feel like people were talking about it. Obviously, maybe more in Canada. But people were just talking about it all the time. Like it was on the radio. Like,
I think Justin Bieber was trying to get back in with Canada. Canadian no more.
trying to get like on that Drake wave where he has like the Canadian North powering his drops.
Yeah.
He wasn't going number 1 fast enough.
I feel like Drake recently though has been starting to like go back to his Toronto ways because he was kind of drifting away from LA.
Yeah, it's easy. I mean, it's easy to drift away from Canada when you literally don't live here and don't participate in our culture.
Started doing the UK accent. It has a Spanish song. Dude, you don't have a French song out.
Yeah, where's your French song?
Yeah.
Dude, good point. What's wrong with Drake?
Yeah, seriously, I don't like him.
But yeah, Bieber and Tim Hortons, that was a smash hit.
It was great.
I think probably one of the best collabs I've ever seen from a celebrity and a brand. And
Wow.
here's actually, I'll even say this. I don't think Bieber could have elevated any other brand as well as he did Tim Hortons. I don't know why it's perfect. The execution was perfect. And I almost want to say too that Tim Hortons couldn't have found a better match. But it's not true. I feel like there may be Drake. But I feel like, no, I don't know. Bieber, like the Bieber balls, like I don't know. There's something about the name even.
It's tough. To be honest though, I think the Travis Scott and McDonald's was a little bit more influential.
Well, I mean, because it's a bigger population, 300 million people in the States versus 30 million in Canada.
For sure, but like Bieber came after Tim Hortons, right? And so Bieber came after the Travis Scott McDonald's, so that like, I guess.
Did Travis Scott get a unique product though? Like, did they create a new culinary piece for the menu, or did they just give you like what he would order?
Like what he would order, like allegedly. Right?
Yeah, allegedly.
Someone check his receipts. But yeah, but like you're right, Justin Bieber just absolutely killed it. And so you said it might be one of the biggest ones. How about this? Michael Jackson and Pepsi.
I mean, I think that was before my time.
It was.
That one was fire.
Nice. The commercial had fire in it, right?
He burned himself, and
Oh, yeah.
Caught on fire.
It's arguably what he had to get surgeries, lots of surgeries in order to fix it.
Oh yeah, that was the Pepsi commercial where that happened.
And I think he also, I don't know if this is true or not, but I think he's also said it was like what expedited his reasoning to get his
Because he has hyperpigmentation and
Yeah.
it was going the other way. Yeah, I would say that. I would say my favorite would be Bieber's.
Oh, I got one more.
Oh yeah,
Chrissy Teigen and Blue Apron. I don't know too much about it, but at the
I
same
don't like
time,
Chrissy Teigen that much.
I don't like her either. But I mean, it fits her brand.
And Blue Apron went from a $2 billion market cap to not even $100 million.
Yeah, I
So
mean the companies like both of them are an L, but you know what happens when two L's go together?
Which is why you should watch the Fast Forward podcast with Lewis and Lee.
Oh, co-produced by
By Storm. See that?
Lewis Lee with Storm.
Pretty crazy.
God, that's so
But yeah,
epic.
Chrissy, Blue Apron, I don't know. She clearly didn't help them out.
For the American listeners, by the way, Tim Biebs, the reason why we like that pun so much is because they're called Timbits at Tim Hortons. Those are the donut holes, what we call them there. So that's why the pun worked so well, too, for the marketing.
True. I guess that
for
context for
Americans.
Americans.
Yeah.
They don't know what a Timbit is. A Timbit is a little ball of joy
Ball of joy.
Little
That
Bieber ball of joy.
that glistens with, oh man, I could go for some fucking Timbits right now.
Well, speaking of balls of joy, let's go to our rewind.
What do you got for us, Lewis?
August 12th, the Echo 1, the first communication satellite, is launched. If you see that picture there in the thumbnail, you can see that it's a big old ball. It's a big old ball satellite. That's not what satellites used to look like now.
I thought when Lewis was like, speaking of balls, and I thought he was just fucking saying something dumb.
Oh, I'm just
This is really
on my shit.
This is really a ball. It's a big silver ball.
And it looks like a Bieber ball.
So hold on.
Looks
What
like a
is
silver
this?
flavor.
So why does the satellite just look like an orb?
Because, well, let me explain my story, and maybe they'll explain there. Technically, Echo 1. So Echo 1. Echo 1, the world's first communication satellite, is launched.
Sorry.
Technically, Echo 1 was a passive reflector. So it technically wasn't a satellite, right? Whatever you freaking technical Neil deGrasse Tyson types want to freaking call it nowadays.
It's not
The Echo 1.
It's not technically a satellite.
Crack my neck over that.
I'm gonna do the podcast like this now.
Technically, Echo 1 was a passive reflector as communication signals were bounced off of it rather than retransmitted as modern satellites do today. So, I mean, it's basically just like a big mirror that was up in the sky. It's pretty crazy. So communication signals were transmitted from one location on Earth and bounced off the surface of the satellite to another Earth location. So essentially, that's what it was. It was just
Bouncing shit off.
with microwave frequencies. Yeah. So it was just going in a straight line and it would go down. So very interesting. The last Echo satellite deorbited and burned up in the atmosphere on the 7th of June, 1969. Iconic moment. And when I read that up, because I got that off the Wikipedia article, I just thought that was so cool. Like when things deorbit, like there's just like a breaking point where it just gravity starts hitting. It's like, sorry, when gravity just starts
hitting, and then
when gravity just starts hitting, and then rather than it coming down to Earth, it just literally it burns before it even hits there.
So SpaceX has launched more Starlink satellites that they literally have more than the rest of the world has combined.
I was just gonna say, like, it's cool where satellite technology is today, thanks to, I mean, just looking back at what it was back then, it was just a big silver ball that you reflected stuff onto it. You could almost like putting a mirror up there, and then you like get a flashlight and seeing it on the other end, right? Or like a laser pointer. That's just how it worked. And now you're doing something even more crazy nowadays.
What do you think a Starlink satellite looks like today? Just describe it in your head.
Just like what a generic satellite might look like, it has like kind of like the solar panel wings, I guess you could say, with that like satellite dish that you would get on the top of your roof.
I'm going to send you guys a link. You guys take a look at this, what Starlinks look like. Kind of different.
Oh, wow. It's like, so it kind of like, it looks like a sailboat.
It's like a half satellite.
It looks like a sail, like a sail, not a sailboat, but the sailors that they have, that you put the like the flag, not the flag, but what's that?
Paddle boat or?
I'm trying to think.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it looks like one of those, but in space.
Can you imagine we're just riding those around?
Looks like a crinkle French fry.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
It does.
Now I'm hungry.
An accordion.
It's weird. They don't look like at all what I thought they would look like. But his intention is to put 42,000 of them in space.
That's crazy. But even then, like with satellites, even outside of SpaceX, like the amount of technology we have now is incredible that we can. That was where it all started.
But we still haven't been back to the moon.
We haven't been back to the moon.
No.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like we've come such a long way with this space technology, and we still haven't been back to the moon yet.
Yeah.
It's
But
been like
do
decades.
we need to go back to the moon?
It'd be nice to put a base there strategically. It'll be good to have a base there.
Mm.
We just haven't done it. We have a space station. We go to a space station all the time. But it would be good. I think it would be good for us to have a base for research. Like, why not? Right? Do research in
I mean, we can just get robots to go up there.
We did that recently.
Yeah.
But
Bring
it
them
just
up.
took a long time. Who knows? Maybe the Mars landing was fake.
The Mars landing was fake.
The moon landing was fake. I'm just kidding. I'm trying to just like
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, dude. If I said that, Neil deGrasse Tyson would have just totally asserted his dominance over me.
I know. Could you imagine? Then you're like, just joking, and then he's like, well, let me just get this clear here. When you say joke, do you mean that? It's like, I laughed, dude.
I got another space thing that I'm going to relate right now. I just had to grab it real quick.
Yep.
A French scientist tweeted an image of Proxima Centauri, the closest star to the sun, located 4.2 light years away from us. And I just wanted to get you guys' take on the picture of it while we're looking at space pictures.
Sweet.
It's going to be right.
Proxima Centauri sounds so badass.
Yeah, Proxima Centauri. Oh wow.
You know what?
That's salami, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say that literally looks like fucking meat.
Yeah.
That looks like a slice of pepperoni or salami.
That's a pepperoni slice,
Are you?
dude.
Hold on, I'm taking my glasses off.
He's trying to, because
you're capping,
he
Storm.
is capping.
I am capping. So the French scientist verified on Twitter. I'm not the one that capped, but that capped. Turns out it's a piece of chorizo, but he tweeted it out and he let people go wild with it.
So yeah, I can't believe that people would have not realized that looks like meat. I mean, it's so clear to me that that's a piece of meat.
Yeah, but you know what? There's been times where I've, in high school or something, where I've just been really baked or something, and I would like look at it and I'd be like, that does look like a universe. And then like my mind wanders, like, what if this is a universe that I'm looking at?
If you were baked,
and I'm a
you
god.
would see chorizo when you see that. If you were truly baked, you're thinking, I'm going to order a pizza.
No, there's like levels to it, right? There's levels. It's like there's one where it's like, oh man, a pizza would be so good right now, and then there's like next level where it's like,
why do
this
I exist?
Chorizo is like is giving me an existential crisis. Interesting.
So yeah, this French scientist trolling people on Twitter. I just thought that was related to the space one we were doing, so I snuck it in there. But
Love it.
Quick takes.
So for
takes.
for the snips, this
Are we doing snaps or quick takes?
quick takes for the remaining stories. Storm, how do you want to share them with us, and then we'll.
Actually, one of them is one of your quick takes. Actually,
you
but
moved them in there.
the other one, I'll just really quick. People are deep faking movies. If you guys go into Snips, it's the fourth item. They turned an R-rated movie into a nice, wholesome PG-13 by deepfake dubbing, getting rid of the F-bombs.
Wait, what?
Wow, nice.
So this could be like how music has the explicit version and the clean versions. That might be coming for movies now.
That's crazy.
Pretty
So
cool.
when you say deepfake, did they change the faces of the people in the movie?
I assume when they say deepfake, that's what they mean. Yeah.
They probably like,
Or maybe they're using deepfake.
it might be like a transition between like if you're saying the F word, like whatever that 1.5 second bridge between like the word before and after it,
To
they're
make it, like,
using deep fake to
Wow.
like get rid of it rather than it just being like an abrupt cut.
And I wonder if they're even using that AI technology that analyzes the speaker's voice to create the new line that's not, rated R. So it sounds like them
Yeah.
almost perfectly.
Can we also talk about how dumb it is? There's like explicit and then clean versions of some songs.
I hate that because my kids, I have to play, and this is the thing is like, I just have to play like fucking explicit music for my children.
Well, it's like I'm sorry, but like like WAP. There's a clean version. Like what? Like what? Like
Oh, I
that's
see
a
what you're
wet
saying.
ass pantry or something. Like
Yeah.
Is that the kids Bob version?
Yeah,
Is wet
that's
ass
so-
pantries?
Actually, is there a kids version of WAP?
a Kids Bop. But even like gangster rap or even any rap is like, I'm going to blank up blank blank, right? Like you're going to kill someone.
Dude,
How can I? Like,
there's a kids Bop WAP.
there's not a Kids Bop WAP. I really hope not.
Unless someone just made this, but I don't know if it's legit or not.
It has like almost
says
a million
artist
views.
Kids
It's got to
Bop,
be
yeah.
fake.
You want to listen to it?
Yeah,
Or no?
yeah. Put it on.
Yo, hold on. Pause. This is arguably more explicit
Yeah,
than what
put
ass
the rolls
pussy.
in my mouth. Yeah, what?
Wings and pizza.
Nice.
Wait, WAP.
So all these kids are out here going what do you?
This is kind of hard, dude. Yo.
with the wings and
Kids at school being like, I just want some WAP for dinner.
This is one of those videos where you want to read the comments, but comments were turned off.
Oh, fuck.
I think because it's actually like they're being serious. It's not a
No,
joke.
they're not. They're not being serious.
Dude, this is official Kids Bop. Did you hear
No,
that
it's
production?
not.
I think it is.
No, it's not. You're like, you got sunglasses on. I can see through it.
I'm being dead ass. I think.
Are you
this-
shitting me?
I mean, what do you think, Storm? You think this is a real song?
I don't think they would ever.
The
do
voices
that.
sounded older than the Kids Bop.
Oh,
Kids,
true,
but
true.
It's hard to say.
It's a great parody, but anyway,
That's
quick
funny.
takes. Spotify is coming for ticket sellers.
So this is pretty crazy. Spotify is now trying to sell you tickets directly for concerts. And you've probably seen this on Spotify in the past where they're like, oh, this artist is coming to a city near you. And they're partnering with companies like Ticketmaster and Eventbrite. But now they're just trying to cut the middleman out. And they're going to go directly to you. But here's the thing. Those companies are going to get destroyed. I mean, when you think about music and you think about your favorite artist, the first place that you're going to find out about a concert is going to be on your phone.
Yeah.
How many times a day do you open Spotify?
Oh, like I can't tell you how much. It's a lot.
So the thing that Eventbrite and Ticketmaster don't have is a way to reach customers. Usually what happens is you hear, oh, The Weeknd's playing, and then you go find them.
Yeah. And then,
Spotify is totally different. Spotify knows exactly who you like in that moment in time as our trends
and
change.
they get you to like other people too.
Yeah, they find people for
Yeah.
you to like. And then right when that concert's announced, literally you open your phone. Like I said, Spotify I open like 5 to 10 times a day. Boom. Hey, this artist that you love, they're going to be playing near you. Buy tickets. Like, I don't know how anyone competes with that. I don't.
I'm not even mad about it either. Like maybe if like Ticketmaster like had a better system of doing stuff, I'd be like, oh,
But their
damn.
systems all suck.
They just suck. I hate it. I hate
Yeah.
Ticketmaster. I hate them. I don't care. I like Spotify. So to me,
You know what would be sweet too?
thumbs up.
If Spotify somehow became like an exclusive seller for these shows and they were able to like stop like scalpers with like a know your customer type of system.
Yeah.
Because like the thing about Ticketmaster
Oh, like
and all this-
blockchain?
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 Blockchain.
Want to bring blockchain in?
Yeah, literally though, because like that's a huge issue, and Spotify is like a progressive enough company that I could see them actually doing something about it. So, what do you guys? Are you guys in favor for Spotify destroying the ticket gods, or do you
Yep.
think this is an overreach?
No, I say to hell with them.
I think it's cool. I think as a young music listener and T-Pain featuring in a lot of songs, right? I always found it hard to find songs that weren't him as the main artist, you know? Do you guys
Yeah.
remember that? Like,
Oh, yeah.
and I'd find
Him and 2
songs-
Chains.
But I just mean like finding an artist being featured on a song was hard for a while, and now like they almost need like one profile where you go and you can get like everything. Like right now you can go to their website for merch, follow them on social media.
Yeah.
If you want to talk to fans, you're gonna be in Reddit. You're gonna be like in fan forums,
okay.
right? It seems like it's like all pretty like disjointed. Like it needs to be a one-stop shop. Everything I want updates to my phone every time T-Pain
Does anything?
Does
takes
anything.
a shit.
takes a shit. Yeah,
I want updates
goes
to my phone.
goes live on Twitch, tweets everything, just like a personalized feed that like it just feels like an artist hub, you know?
Yeah.
So I think this is like one step in the direction of like keep putting
Yeah.
things in one spot.
Yeah, and if Spotify does that, like, could you imagine buying merch and doing like a premium subscription? getting selling NFTs. Spotify really has honestly a lot of room to grow, I think.
Imagine
when you think about it that way.
Because they have the top 1% listeners, right? What if those people get early access to tickets as opposed to just like scalpers?
So they take real evidence-based fans, and like when someone says they're a day one, it's like, listen, in 2016 you didn't play a single song from my catalog.
That's pretty intense.
Your cap. Yo, I think. Hold on, I know this is a quick take, but is Spotify profitable right now?
No, they're not. I looked this up already.
They're not.
No.
How bad are they?
A tech unicorn, basically, probably.
What's the next story?
Elon sells $6.9 billion worth of Tesla stock in case he has to buy Twitter, which he said he was not going to sell any more stock.
You know what? I heard a crazy conspiracy theory, and this is going to blow your minds. So
with the sunglasses, Andrew Tate style.
a while back, Elon Musk sold a bunch of stock, and he said, "Hey guys, I'm not going to be selling anymore for a bit." Someone actually asked him on Twitter. He said, "This is the last time I'm going to be selling for a little while." And then the price of the stock rallied. It was a good selling opportunity for him. And he couldn't sell it. If he did, it probably would have been a bad look. And I heard the craziest conspiracy theory about Twitter. And that he actually did a fucking magician's move on us. And he distracted us with Twitter so that he could sell way more shares of Tesla stock, knowing he wasn't going to close the deal and pay the $1 billion fine at most.
He's like, Elon is the king of market manipulation. So like, I wouldn't be surprised at that.
Well, not even market manipulation. He's almost preventing it, knowing that as a CEO, if he sells a bunch of shares at a great price, it hurts the company, right? People don't like it when your CEO is just like selling shares. And normally you can see the behavior in the price when they do that. But it didn't move when Elon did it because of Twitter. Everyone was so fixated on, no, this is not a bad thing. He needs the money to buy Twitter. And he was able to move a ton of stock without the price moving very much.
It's just, it's just interesting. I mean, again, it comes back to the saga. This is like this Twitter saga, It's like, is this Elon's best move?
And here's the thing. 6.9 billion was his most recent sell-off. This guy is literally out here moving like literally so much money we can never comprehend it, and he's doing it while making a fucking oral sex joke. He's like, "Oh yeah, how much money in USD do you want, Elon? Can you make it 6.9 billion, please?"
It's like, Elon, like it doesn't make sense. Like you need to take out 7.2, make it 6.9.
6.9. He's like, but we could really use that extra like $0.3 billion. No, do it 6.9. And it is funny because like all the bills that come out of my like my mortgage and like my monthly bills, it comes out of my RBC account, so I have to use my TD account to like transfer funds over there at times. That Elon's doing that at macro scale. Oh yeah. Well, and the thing is, there's no chance that 6.9 is an accident. You know, it's so he just doesn't care. It's just fucking fuck you money at this point. I got a question for you guys. There's 4 outcomes here. Either he wins the case and doesn't have to pay the $1 billion fine and he walks away, or he loses the case and he pays the $1 billion fine and walks away, or he loses the case and ends up having to buy the company at the sale price, or he loses the case and buys the company for less than the sale price.
I think he's going to pay the $1 billion.
You think they're going to ask him to pay the $1 billion? He's going to have to pay it.
Yeah, I think that's ideally. I think that's the best scenario for him, and I think he's just going to take it.
What do you think, Storm?
I think out of the last 2, I think number 4 is like more likely than 3.
So he'll get it, but he'll get it for less than he.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where. So Lewis's is the most probable based on just the amount of, just the sheer cost. Like buying Twitter is so expensive, and it's just like going to be a hard deal to make happen. I think we covered it on the podcast. There was like 20 something banks involved around the world to make it happen.
But also like number 4, where he buys it at a lower price. Like that's what like Twitter's essentially suing him for in the first place, is so that doesn't happen specifically.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't think it's going to happen. I think I think the $1 billion, like he's just going to be like it's nothing. He just pulled out 6.9 billion bones, right?
If it's not that though, I think it actually could happen the way that Storm's describing it. Because I think what could happen in the litigation is that Elon could argue that, his points, and the judge might actually agree that, yeah, the value shouldn't be, but because there's some gray area between like kind of the things they agreed to and everything else, allow Elon to purchase it for less, or allows Twitter to accept a lower deal. Obviously, Twitter wants the money. They want the money they were told. But I think even the whole market's tanked since then, right? And it's been on the downhill. So I think Twitter really wants this deal because it's like such a great price for the stock now.
But I mean, at the same time, it was Elon's fault as well that why it tanked. So like, because you're right, like stock prices have gone down, but they haven't relative to the rest of the market. Elon definitely was manipulating some of it in order to get it down at a lower price for sure. And that's something that Twitter could argue.
No, Twitter went down pretty close to the rest of the market.
Yeah, but what I mean is that even before like all the tech, the recessions happened, like Elon was definitely involved with that kind of stuff.
The reason it went up in price so much is because the acquisition price. So the reason that it was selling at higher prices is because they knew Elon was going to buy it.
Yeah.
And then it met that price. And then once there was some like talks about it not happening, the price fell back down, still higher than it was prior. So it's actually, right now it's at $44. Before all that shit, it was like not even at $40. So,
yeah, but I think that it's what he's just trying to do is just trying to manipulate it to make it seem like, oh, okay, I can get this at a lower price.
He might try, yeah.
And that's what I think that's why Twitter is trying to take him out in court anyway, to prevent him, because Elon is the king when it comes to like market manipulation, really.
And that's actually the reason why he sold all this stock. In a Twitter thread, someone asked him, "Are you done selling?" And his response was, in case I, hopefully unlikely chance that I have to buy Twitter, I'll need the capital to make the acquisition. So he's preparing for having to buy it.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
I mean, $7 billion.
He's nuts.
Portion of it
seems like how like most midlife crises, you buy like a Lambo or like a Porsche.
Elon buys Twitter.
He buys Twitter.
What else do you have for us there, Storm?
Google mad about Green Bubble.
Yeah, I mean, this is this quick one. So Google has started a public shaming campaign to try to shame Apple into letting Android users benefit from like the iMessage fence.
Okay.
So they want Apple to adapt the RCS system, which is like a new system beyond SMS, and they are kind of getting sick of the whole green bubble negative connotation that comes with using Android, and they're literally publicly shaming them on Twitter, and they've even built a website called getthemessage.com, and they have like a hashtag and everything, and they're trying to shame. Yeah, they're trying to shame.
Was it getthemessage.com?
Hold on, let me see if that's the correct domain. I was doing that from memory. Oh, it's android.com/getthemessage. Here, I'll send you guys the link. But it's so funny because on this pod, we've talked about it before, the whole Android green bubble thing, and how, you don't want to talk to somebody that doesn't have iMessage.
Yeah, but the funny thing is that this is just like...
It literally says it's time for Apple to fix texting on Android's website. They look so desperate.
It's not about the color of the bubbles. It's the blurry videos, broken group chats, missing read receipts, and typing indicators.
They just want... I think what it is more than anything is that they realize that messaging is a pressure point that Apple's using to keep people inside their garden, and they just don't want that to be the case. I don't know if it's because the thing is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lewis, but if I'm an Android user and I'm texting somebody with an iPhone, am I losing anything that I would otherwise have gained if I talked to somebody on Android? Is there an Android equivalent of iMessage?
I think what it is that when you're texting, the way it's working is that, from Android to Android, you can talk with modern day technology, similar to how Apple does it. And I think Android here is saying that they're attempting to bridge this gap between them. Say, hey, all these modern technologies that because the SMS protocol it's freaking old, right? And
super old.
It's so old. And I think what's kind of new with the iMessage or this Android Messenger or whatever the hell it is that there's some more metadata that can be included, like read receipts, better timestamps, effects, and then also being able to remove Wi-Fi as well, because that's something that is hard with
But the thing is, people don't like the green bubble, and they assign that blame to Android. They're like, oh, my fucking Android friend and his green bubbles. But the reality is, it's actually the iPhone.
Yeah.
that's making it that way.
Yeah, it is. But like at the same time, yeah, like I think it's kind of, I don't know. I'm not really kind of like torn a little bit.
I'm torn because I think there may be some benefits to them having their own system, and they don't want to use our RCS.
I also just like the thing I hate is like I hate when Apple like doesn't innovate for the sake of business practices. Like they're like, oh, we're choosing to make everything crappy to benefit our business. But at the same time, like I'm sorry, but like there's no the green bubble. I don't know if they're being literal with this, right? Like in the fact that it's a green bubble. But yeah, I don't know.
Their emojis also suck.
Yeah, Android emojis do suck. I'm sorry.
Maybe we don't need to worry about it because all our friends have iPhone. But
yeah,
you guys talk on Facebook Messenger anyways, right?
Yeah.
And then there's like WhatsApp that kind of bridges the two, right? That's how I kind of seen WhatsApp.
Yep. WhatsApp, exactly.
Which is Meta company too,
so
right?
Maybe it isn't as big of a problem as Android's making it out to be. They seem a little bit silly right now. They seem a bit desperate.
But that's all. But like, Android has much more to benefit in this. Like, it's kind of like it's two businesses arguing with each other. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like, who do I really feel bad for? Really nobody, you know?
Yeah. Just let me do my iMessaging. One last final quick story. And I'm just curious about your take. I just want to hear your predictions because it's about to come real. We're going to find out what actually ends up happening. Cybertruck has been announced to actually see deliveries middle of next year. You guys know what Cybertruck is, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm torn on this. When this car was first announced a few years back, it was really, really cool.
Yeah.
And a lot of people bought this like $1,000, $2,000 like deposit to secure this car.
So how much was it originally going to be? Like, how much were people expecting it to be?
So that's the thing. So the price has gone up. Okay, so hold on. Let me go Cybertruck.
It's gone up on all EVs lately though too.
Yep.
So
Ford, everybody.
Yeah.
Which I can go on a huge rant about government subsidies now, but I won't. I don't know how much it increased in price, but it did. And it makes sense because cost of goods, and it's been a couple of years since then.
But does it like, I mean, sorry, I'm just not entirely sure, but because I saw this all over the place too with Cybertruck going up more in expense. Is it going up in price because it didn't, because it missed the estimate or because of supply chain issues?
I think it's probably a combination of everything. I think they're probably like, it's easier to say supply chain issues, but like also the car was a concept car. So now they're closer to what it's going to cost. But yeah, like everything's more expensive in the car industry right now. Like even chips are more expensive. So
how much is it going to cost us, Lee?
So
for a Cybertruck?
So the price has increased from, hold on, I had it right here. So for example, at the beginning of the year, the base model, oh wait, hold on, fuck. Yeah, 7 hours ago, Cybertruck pricing. I think right now they've actually removed the pricing. I think Elon has just told them it's going to be more expensive.
Oh, I see. Generate a ton of media, but also in part due of its low starting price of $39,000. So just about $40,000 US for the base model of the Cybertruck. That's how much we were to believe back in 2019.
Which is super cheap.
That's ridiculous. But this is before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Right. So again, you're right. It's very much the dual motor all wheel. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I'm just having a look
parse
here.
through this.
Yeah. Because Tesla had initially said the Cybertruck would begin rolling off the assembly line in late 2021, with the range-topping tri-motor versions in late 2022.
You know what? I don't think it's announced yet. I think it's literally all following the earnings call where Elon literally said, like a week ago, he said, hey, the car is not going to be the same price that we told you it was going to be. It's going to be more. So I don't know if the price is now. Maybe we're wrong. If we're wrong, let us know in the comments. But the thing is, the car was announced like a long time ago. It was really, really cool, and a bunch of people spent like $1,000 to get in line for this car. Since then, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, here's my thing: 40. If it goes from 40,000, like 60,000, that's when like I draw the line. Like if it's over that, like I mean, I'm not copping one anyway. but that's when I like if I was like that's when I'd be like, okay. Anyway, let's hear it. Like,
well, so here's the thing: so it's a completely refundable deposit to stay in line. And a lot of people don't want to lose their place, so they left their money in. So here's what I'm really curious about. Do you think the vast majority of people are just going to say, you know what, like the novelty is worn off. Like it's been a few years. I'm no longer interested in the design. And they're just not going to buy the car? Or do you think it's going to do well at a higher price point many years after all the hype?
I think like once they release a video of it, like we haven't seen much of the car, or like we haven't seen any promo material or nothing. Like it's just like I think once they release another one of those, like we're back into the hype mode.
Yeah, that's true too. And the thing is, like they're fully prepared to start cranking these out of their factory, which is a big investment. So I feel like it has to become like a big deal. So Lewis thinks it's gonna pop off. What about you, Storm? Do you think it's gonna meet all the hype, or do you think it's gonna fall off?
I think it'll be cool once they actually decide to launch it.
From my personal thought is that it's actually grown on me more. I think it's actually more. I'm more okay with a vehicle like that. I would like to whip around in a Cybertruck.
Yeah, it would be really fun. I just need to see more of it, I guess, right? There's just too much concept. Let's start seeing some feature lists.
Some real shit.
Yeah.
So not some...
But they're gonna start dropping soon.
Yep. So we'll see.
Do you know what else is fun?
What's that?
Memes.
Oh, you got a meme for us?
I love memes.
We missed your memes for 2 episodes.
Yeah, and I had to do the meme, and I don't know if they liked it as much as they like yours.
Really?
Lewis's second meme wasn't as good as his first one.
Lewis is great at memes in our meme chat on
Yeah,
Slack,
he is.
so I thought he'd be...
Original memes.
Yeah.
I don't even... Original memes, right? So this one, none of the ones I do on the show are original. Sorry, fans. But the caption is, me when I suspect the Roomba is reporting my information back to Amazon, and it shows that kid crying holding a gun.
I should have done like the old Yeller. You know how he has to shoot his dog in the backyard. Take out the Roomba. Be like, yep, just come on out.
This poor kid. I wonder what he had to kill. He looks really sad.
Yeah, this
Well,
is like a meme. I've seen this around.
Like there's some photographer, the monkey photographers running around. They're like, oh, this kid's like about to shoot someone. That's got to be from a movie. Is he wearing a Winnie the Pooh outfit?
Cute.
I'm just looking for like the origin of it.
It's a really funny meme.
That's a great
It was
meme.
posted to Shutterstock, and that's where it became big. I don't know.
With no context, it's just hilarious.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, that was it was good to have you back, Storm. Lots of news, lots of stories to cover. Hopefully, we can put out some content on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, where you guys can follow us for our reels. And don't forget to also give us a review on the podcast platforms. We'd love to hear it. And thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.